Hey there, Brandon Rutlinger here, and welcome to another episode of Stack and Scale. And today we got another solo episode because, there's so many tools out there. And one of the new ones that I've been hearing a lot about is Unify or Unify GTM. And I'm sure you have heard about them too. Their founder is pretty loud and vocal on LinkedIn. Great follow, Austin Hughes, if you don't follow him. But I've been hearing a lot about them and getting a lot of questions about them. So I had to go figure it out, play around with it a bit and test it out. And I really like where they're going with this tool. Talked to the team over there. It's a great team over there, and started to build a few things. And I want to show you that today. But if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely worth going to check it out. Okay, so with that said, let's actually just dive right into it. So I'll show you what I built here. And this is a play. So they call these plays. And it's really focused on converting free trials faster. And they all start with a trigger. And a trigger could be a few different things. It could be you add them to a list manually. It could be a value change within CRM, so they go from this stage to this stage or something like that. Or in this case, they're taking an action on my website to trigger this play. And then the next step, best practice here, is put them into a qualification node here. And this qualification node is I'm using AI to ask them 4 different things, and their answer to these 4 things will determine if they're qualified or not. And the 4 questions that I'm asking is, how many sales reps do they have? Or do they have at least 25 sales reps? Are they in B2B or B2B2C? Do they have at least 25 million in funding? And then the last one is, does the company use Salesforce? So if this is not qualified, if this person's not qualified, they go down this not qualified branch and they get put into a self-serve onboarding sequence. And then after they go through that, of course, everything is getting automatically updated in HubSpot. Now, you don't have to build the self-serve onboarding sequence within Unify. Obviously, you don't have to. I did it for the sake of the demo to show that this is something you could do. But if you have that built out in HubSpot or wherever else, obviously do that and use this then to go kick them off into that other tool that you're using for your onboarding sequence. But if they are qualified, they do meet our criteria here, they go down this branch, and this does something interesting here. So what it's doing is pulling the company that this person works at, and then it's finding the key people that I care about most. So here I've defined that in a different part of the platform, you're defining who your personas are. So here I'm saying I want to specifically target the CRO persona. And of course you can add others too. I have head of marketing, head of demand gen, CMO as well. So I can select any of those. But for this demo, I'm just going to go CRO. And then I could limit it to just, there's usually only one CRO at a company, right? But maybe if it's, a sales rep, I can say only five in this sequence or anything like that. Okay. And then what it's doing here next is we are sending a notification over to Slack that, hey, someone is qualified and they requested a demo. And you can either send it to any channel within Slack, or you can send it to a user. And if you send it to a channel, you can actually tag the owner. And then here's the information that I'm sending over. Here's some information about the person and information about the company. And of course, I can add anything I want as well. I can add their phone number or their LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, at the same time that they're getting the Slack notification, they're going down this route here. And this is where I put them into a sequence. So this sequence I'm targeting the CRO. And if it's the CRO, send them to this sequence. I'll show you the sequence in a minute. And then if it's anyone else, send them to this sequence here. And I'm using obviously my own mailbox. You can use different mailboxes. So if you set up other mailboxes, you can do that. And then again, max enrollments per company, I can set here as well. And then of course, last step is updating HubSpot. Okay, so high level, that's what this looks like. Now let's actually dive into each of these a little bit more. Okay, so here we are in our audience tab. And as you can see, I built out a few audiences. This is the one that I just showed you in that play that I put together. And I'm basically saying if they request a free trial and they're not an open opportunity and they're not a customer, then put them into this audience. And building audiences is pretty easy. Let me just show you for the sake of the demo really quick, I can look at company attributes here, and I can pull from HubSpot fields. I can have website activity if my tag is on the site. And then I can also stack these. I can group these. Or I should say, you can also add people attributes as well. Same thing here. So I can pull fields within HubSpot. There's some quick filters here. You could just click on these, and then I could also again add conditions and group conditions. So this is pretty powerful. And there's also exclusions. So let's exclude any schools. Let's exclude old records, open opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. So I really like the ability to get really refined and focused on our audiences, and then of course build focused and really specific plays for each of these audiences. Okay, so that's audiences. And next, let's go over to agents. So again, this is what we're using for our qualification. So just over here, again, remember real quick, they get entered into this audience, and then let's qualify them. And the one that we used here is this one. And I'm, again, asking it 4 questions. But let me show you how I built this. So this is basically your system level prompt here. And then these are the AI qualification questions that I am asking AI to answer for me. So the first one is, has the company raised at least 25 million? And that's just a straight true or false. Is it B2B or B2B2C? Again, true or false. How many sales reps does this company have? And in this case, I want it to return a number. And then are they using Salesforce? So pretty straightforward. And then if we want to test it, we could just go in, select any company here and run and generate, and it'll give me back an answer. Okay, so that is the agent node here. And next, let's go into our sequence. Actually, you know what? Maybe we start with snippets. Let's start with snippets, because we can build these AI snippets. So another great use of AI is using AI to build these snippets based off of prompts that I give it. And then we can put these snippets into our plays, into our sequences. And then we build those, put the sequences into the play. Okay. I know that was a little confusing. But okay. So again, we are now kind of, let's see, we're in the weeds here now. But basically what we're doing here is giving AI a prompt. So they have some out of the box ones that you can obviously click and say, go on these. But here's the one that I came up with. And it is a company observation to use to open up the first line of the email, basically. And it is saying, I've observed this about your company, and I'm pulling in the person's title. And I'm also pulling in the answer from question number 3, which you will remember is how many sales reps do they have? And then here's the person's title, and then here's some examples, and then you can have length, and then you need a fallback. So if it doesn't come back with an answer, here is what I want you to say instead. And then of course you can generate examples here. I really like that. And then you obviously can publish that. But yeah, let's just create a new one real quick just to show you. Yeah, value prop. It makes these pretty easy. And then here is where I can say, okay, now pull it from, does the company use OAuth? And then I can pull that into my qualification here. And then I can, again, just the length, and I need a fallback here. So that's creating your AI qualification node. So I like that. That's really cool. And then next we'll go over to sequences. And the sequence that we were using the CRO sequence. Okay, so let's come in here and edit this. And this is what your sequence looks like. And this is your sequence builder, pretty standard sequence builder, what you would expect from a sequence builder. And, we have our steps and our wait time. So the first step here's where we're using the AI snippets that we just created. So obviously you can pull in company name, person name, you can pull in sender information, you can pull in data on the company, et cetera, et cetera. Or you can actually just pull up one of the snippets that you just created. So these are the snippets that I just showed you. I pulled that into the email. Here's a preview of the email. And then in this step, step 1 is a manual email. So that's still all created automatically, but I just made this manual because I really want this particular, the first email of the sequence to be, human in the loop to make sure that they're reviewing it. And they're the ones who finally press play or press go on this sequence or on that email. Or send, I should say. And then wait your 2 days, and you can obviously adjust that however you want. And then the next step is a call. And if they don't answer, let's automatically send an email. This one's just a follow-up email, pretty standard. And then here we're doing, it's a reminder to view their LinkedIn. So they don't have a direct integration with LinkedIn. So it's just, hey, here's a reminder, go view this person's LinkedIn. And then similar here's a reminder, go send a connection request to this person. And then here we can also add any manual steps. So in this case, the manual step is put them into a Sendoso CRO sequence. And there's a million other things you can do too, but I just wanted to give that example here in my CRO sequence. So yeah, again, high level, this is my, 6-step sequence for CROs. You can see building sequences is pretty standard, pretty straightforward. But again, I really like how you can use AI in this, the building of the snippets. Okay, next, let's have a look at one of the cool AI features. Actually, no, I kind of skipped over it a little bit here. Okay, let's go back. So in this manual step, again, I want a human in the loop here. I want this first email to be personalized and relevant as possible. So yes, I'm using AI to create these snippets here, but also if there's anything else interesting, anything else relevant that I can put into this message to have a higher likelihood of a response, I want to obviously do that. So we can actually use AI. And let me show you the AI research. So let's go back over to companies and let's just click on any company here. And then I can say, run AI research. And I can tell it the specific things that I want it answered. And then it will tell me the answer to those things here. So let's actually go to that real quick. So let's go over to settings, AI research. And these are all of the things that I want it to research. They're called observations, but I can come down here. I can do new observation and have they had any recent product launches? And then I can add that as one of my observations so that when I click run AI research, it'll give me this answer back. And I can obviously write anything I want here. Now, the only caveat here is that you can have up to 8. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So yeah, let's just add this one for the heck of it. Okay, you can kind of have 8 observations max. But then now, when I go back over to the companies here, I can say run research, and then it'll give me the answer to all of those 8 observations so that now I can pop it into that email. And hopefully, again, it's more personalized and relevant and timely so that we get a higher likelihood of response. So it's a more personalized, relevant message. Okay. That was real quick, the AI research. And then next, let's go over to plays and then put all these things together. So we'll just hit new play. Okay, I really like this too. So we can start with one of their templates, and then you can preview all their templates here, and then it'll tell you the things that you need, the dependencies. So you have at least one audience set up, you've at least published one sequence, and then you have your CRM integrated. It'll show you all the different things that you need in order to use this template, and then the templates are pretty easy, pretty plug and play. So I've got my one condition here. This one is prospect sequence based off of website visitor. So I have my website visitor set up and tracked already. Now I need to actually set up max number of people. So let's just, for the heck of it, say 5, and then select the persona. Let's just go CRO. And then here, all I have to do is set up the routing. And so persona, I want to route the CRO to me, and I want the CRO sequence. And then if anyone else, no action is taken. And then sync all that back over to HubSpot. So as you can see, once you build out all of the different pieces, your audience, your qualification, your snippets, your sequences themselves, your personas. Actually, we didn't go over personas, but personas are pretty easy to set up here. So let's go over to personas back in settings. I have a few personas set up. So, but if I want to do a new one, maybe marketing operations, I can go marketing operations. And then what it does down here is it starts suggesting titles. So any of these that make sense for me to add, I can obviously pretty quickly and easily click add on those. And then I can also exclude titles. So don't add any, maybe it's, I don't know, my lights just went off there. Okay, anyway, we're going to keep going. It could be assistant, or it could be, fractional. I can add any exclusions as well here, and then I can create that persona. I don't need to create that one. So anyway, this is a pretty cool tool. There's a lot of things that we can do here in Unify once we get everything set up. And then again, it's doing some really cool GTM engineering and really weaving in AI to help send more personalized, relevant outbound to start conversations with the people we care about. Anyway, hope that was helpful. I know that was a pretty quick high-level overview, but if you haven't checked out Unify, go check out Unify. I'm a big fan, and hope that was helpful. I hope you liked it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.